saying? Each one of these ladies, I had the opportunity to go first. They have their own topics. We're going to start from the top with Miss Abby EBT. You know what I'm saying? She's a TikToker that went viral, and now, you know what I'm saying, she's here. You know what I'm saying? So let the people know a little bit about you, you know what I'm saying? And then I can give you your topic.
Oh, hey, I'm Savvy, and my platform is basically built on informing people about public social services. So anything having to do with your Medicaid, food stamps, cash aid, Medicare, ACA, Affordable Care Act, other social services, like if your child has disabilities, if you have a parent who needs long-term care, all of those things, like I'm here just dispelling the myths and removing the stigmatism and the shame, because there's no
Right.
shame asking for help and needing some assistance. So that's the main focus of my platform, that and health.
Okay. Okay. So, first topic, you know what I'm saying, is personal experiences. You know what I'm saying? Can you share a personal experience that significantly, excuse me, that significantly impacted your mental health and how you managed it? Then, how has understanding of mental health evolved over the years for you?
Definitely. So I think for this one, I'm just going to share about raising a child with special needs. Um, because basically, sorry, you guys. Alexa, stop. I'm Queen Mom. So basically, I raised a son that went misdiagnosed um, for 13 years, and no one believed me. And my child was labeled as an angry black man. And so having to basically fight medical um, medical discrimination and having a child that was undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, it really made me a lot of times feel defeated and helpless and incapable as a mom. And I truly believe that every parent wants the best for their child, right? We all want, once you have a child, you want the best for them. And
Right.
so the depression, the anxiety, the worry, the self, like, I guess you would call it like self loathing and just putting myself down as a mother, because it was like I was fighting this huge system and I had no help. And I was a single mom too. So, um, and they said, so that was the biggest thing, is searching for doctors and people who would listen, and just feeling like I didn't have a voice. And I was the only one who could be his voice. So it was like, there were days, like, I kid you not, like I would just sit in my room alone and just cry because I felt so hopeless. And just the worst feeling in the world is not being able to help your own child. That to me is like, I just felt like such a failure. And I just felt like, gosh, if I can't help my own child, then what am I even worth? You know? Um,
Right.
and how did I manage it? Honestly, I stayed in therapy. I had to, because if I lost it, then he would lose it too. You see, like, I knew that I'm the foundation. I knew that I'm the one holding it together. So I had to search out help for myself. Um, there were times where I did have to take a leave of absence from my job to address my mental health, because I was not capable of helping others at that point. If I have zero resources and I have nothing left in my toolbox, how the hell am I supposed to walk into a public social services office and say, "Hi, how can I help you? What do you need today?" I can't help anybody. I was completely broken because I was searching for answers for my child. And so, yes, I did seek out therapy, group therapy. Um, I definitely did what you would consider like talk therapy, and also medication to manage the anxiety and the depression. Because I was at the point, and I'm very raw with my story. When you get to the point where your hygiene goes south, you can't even pull yourself out of bed to take showers, you can't wash your hair, you can't open your windows or your doors, you're ignoring phone calls from friends, You have zero concentration. You can't even watch TV because the anxiety and the depression is so bad. You must seek help. So I'm very open, and I tell people this is where I was and this is where I am now. And yeah, I went through that. And the last part, I'm sorry, Marcus, I'm reading. How has your understanding of mental health evolved over the years? Oh boy. So I was raised with a very super religious background to the point where um, you just had to pray. Pray the depression away, pray the anxiety away. It's Satan attacking you. It was shame, right? Like asking, going to a doctor's office and asking for help was shame. It's because I wasn't praying hard enough, and I believed that I believed that for a long time until it got so bad that I could not cope. Like I could not take care of myself and bills and my child, and I couldn't do anything. So that narrative had to change. I had to level up because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys today. I was
Right.
having thoughts of self harm, everything. And all the prayer and church and my belief system was not relieving what I felt inside. And there was no relief. So, do I use my spiritual beliefs today? Yes, I still pray. Absolutely. I still hold those values dear to me. But I also understand that there's a difference between therapy and therapeutic. So my spiritual beliefs are therapeutic. They are tools. So anything that's therapeutic is a tool that helps me conquer the anxiety and the depression. But the therapy is done by a licensed, trained professional to address the ongoing struggles that I always will have. When you come through such a powerful storm, when I say my son is disabled, he has autism, and my son was very combative, and so he was very aggressive. In 1 week, he gave me a busted lip, a black eye, and a concussion twice. I had scratch marks, bite marks, bruises all over my body. And this is the side of autism that nobody wants to talk about. And most of us parents with children with autism know we don't have a voice. So it's that part is kind of hard for me to share, but I'm going to share my trauma because I feel like people need to know this is what we go through. This is the ugly truth. This is where I'm at. Did I take him to doctors? Yes. Did I take him to diagnosis? Yes. And it wasn't just, oh, he's just a bad child. Oh, you just need to pray. I was told to pray the demons away. I was told that I was a bad mother. I was told that I wasn't disciplining him enough. I wasn't giving enough boundaries, and just everything. It was all my fault. All my fault. I was just being blamed and blamed and blamed. And the more I felt like the more I asked for help, the more blame I got put on my shoulders. So it literally changed, my narrative changed because I saw the world, how people are. I cannot change people's beliefs, but I can change my own. My beliefs have changed, and the shame and the stigma around walking into an office and saying, I'm broken. My brain is broken. My brain controls the rest of my body. If you have trauma, your brain is literally being harmed. It's being socked. So if I always tell people, we'll go to a doctor for a broken arm, back, your back is sore, your foot ain't working right, you have a headache, you cut yourself, something like that, right? You're in a car accident. Every other part of our body, we will go to and seek medical attention, except for our brains. That's when, oh, nope, I'm not going there. Nope. And it's like, but wait, you guys are missing the whole point. Your brain is the most important body part you have. If you don't heal it and you don't heal those traumas, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. And you end up hurting yourself and others.
All right.
No matter what thing.
Okay. Okay. Where you? What you got for us?
Okay, I'm a little bit emotional already because something that I don't tell people, well, Marcus knows obviously, but is my son actually has autism. I actually have 2 children with autism, but my eldest child, he is 12, and he has nonverbal autism. Among other things, he's got a severe intellectual disability and things like that as well. And so I completely understand what you are going through and what you have been through. It's the pain as a mother when there's something wrong with your child. There's just nothing that can compare to it. And I've been on my knees next to my son's bed so many times, begging God to help him, begging God to give him my voice because I've talked enough. I want him to talk. And I guess to answer the question here, an experience that really impacted my mental health was, with my son's condition. My marriage broke down a couple of years ago now, and it was the right thing. I ended the marriage, and I'm not going to get into that too much because I don't want to speak about my ex publicly, but at the time when my marriage broke down, I had a woman contact me on Facebook that was seeing him. She said all kinds of things. And I was broken after that. I was struggling with this kid who, my ex-husband's 6'3". So as you can imagine, my son, even at 12, is a big boy. And even just the physical side of things, like he can't use the bathroom. All his personal care I do myself, and struggling with all that, and then worrying about his future and worrying how I'm going to handle all this, knowing that I don't have control over what women my ex has in his life, then that affects my children. It just, everything was too much for me last year, and I wasn't okay. And I didn't tell people that I wasn't okay either. I just got on with things as best I could. I dragged myself up in the morning, dragged myself around for the kids' sake, but mentally I was not good. How I've gotten out of it, I guess now I've actually kind of been honest with people around me about how I was and how I am feeling, and I've got a better support system. But it's hard for me to ask for help because I'm very independent, I'm stubborn, I don't like to bother people. So learning to kind of let my guard down a little bit, that's been a big thing for me. And now that I do have better support. I've still got a very long road to go with my son, but I know that I'm going to get through it for my kids' sake. So, yeah.
Chumbo, what you got for me?
Well, I would have to say the thing that has significantly impacted my mental health is the abusive relationship I was in that ended up in sexual assault. Um, and at first I didn't manage it at all, to be honest with you. I hid it, but it came to a point where it got too dangerous where I left and he assaulted me because I moved on with my life. And for a while, it was really hard to manage because I thought like the biggest part of the whole thing would be the assault, but afterwards I was stalked. And for a while, like it really impacted me because I wasn't able to leave my house and I still struggle like to leave my house. I have really, really bad PTSD. I get sick, but I used to carry it like shamefully, but I don't carry it shamefully anymore. Sorry, guys. But
Okay.
I used to be really ashamed because, I get sick when I leave the house because, I was stalked. But now we're like a badge of honor because I could just like stay in the house and, cower. But instead, I just face it. Like, regardless of what I go through, like, at least I'm pushing through it, like I'm fighting, I'm not giving up. And, you know, I only started getting therapy because my partner at the time made me get it. And I'm so grateful because, it's really important. Like a lot of people don't talk about you fixing your brain. Like, and it is true. Like you have to take care of your brain because if not, you're taught to be ashamed of all of these things. And if you don't take care of it, you just walk in shame. And honestly, it's nothing that we should carry, Nothing is our fault. So that's something that has helped me evolve, is like facing it and not walking in shame and carrying it like a badge of shame. Instead, I carry it like a badge of honor, like I'm a warrior.
I know that's right. I heard that shit. Miss Ray.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I can lump all of mine underneath one umbrella of abandonment. So abandonment started for me at conceiving. Okay, so it was I was always bounced around. I was a contract kid. For those who don't know me, I was a contract kid and a latchkey kid all in one. So a contract kid is when your parent does contract work and they travel for work. My mom was a respiratory therapist, so we traveled. I was bound. I just knew how to bounce around, and that gained me the ability to know how to adapt anywhere I go. That's the upside. I know how to adapt. The downside for some, for me, it's a protective thing. Um, is I know how to detach. I don't get attached. I've learned that at an early age to not get attached. And this goes with the moving around. This goes with, having to come home. Everybody know what a latchkey kid is if you was born in the 80s and anything back from there. Y'all know what time it is. So we was age 6 years old already caring for ourselves. You get what I'm saying? It was, don't open the door, don't cut on the stove, you can use the microwave, be in bed by such and such. You better not be home when I get off from work, because that means your ass didn't get up on time to catch the bus. You get that type. So it's that, on top of just life. Here I am, 41, and it's just life in general of moving around, being a single mother, all that jazz. So I could just lump all the abandonment. Mother, she's in prison currently. Father was in prison from the age of 7. Yeah, from 7, got out when I was 14. Um, just a lot of who was ever close to me and we shared the same bloodline was snatched from me. You see what I'm saying? So, and the death of my grandmother, which was my best friend. And that was a hard one. So now, how I've learned how to just manage or cope with it, I'm aware of it. I'm not perfect from it. There's still some trauma. There's still some triggers, whatever the case may be. But I've also learned how to surround myself with people that will keep me or help keep me in a positive mental, which is being more grateful for what I do have going on instead of focusing on what I've lost. Because even though I still have to be logical about all of this, I was a jit, I was a kid. I am 41. I am a grandmother now. I cannot let that continuously dictate the next 40 of my life. I did the first 40, so the next 40 is just, I learned, I know how to deal, I know how to cope. It's not going to be perfect, and just keep going. Because again, when you are a single woman or a single mother, or just single period, fathers, people, when you just out here in this world, because y'all, I'm not tripping. I know y'all see the shit I'm seeing. So even just dealing with that is like, how do you keep centered? How do you stay grounded and how you stay centered? And the most thing is retraining your body and your mental. And I'm about to land. Retraining your body and your mental, and feeding yourself something more than what's on this app, what's in the media, what's keeping you occupied and distracted from the God in you, from yourself, to center yourself, because this shit ain't gonna stop. It's always going to be something. After you solve and find a solution to this, it's going to be something. So now you need to focus on, all right, how am I going to cope, and how am I going to manage this, and how am I going to keep myself going? At the end of the day, whether you're making the bread or you're not making the bread, or you're in between making the bread, it's still survival mode for everybody. It's just you're surviving on whatever level that you've made it at in life, but you're still in survival mode. So the main thing that you need, and I land here, is you need your mental. And I've learned, or I am learning, because don't get it twisted. I speak a lot of positivity on my platform, and this, that, and the third, but I'm still getting my shit together, right? So what I am learning and implementing and have been implementing on my journey for the past year and a half is creating an environment. What I can control is my environment and what I put myself around and who I associate myself with. That has a major impact on how you move forward in life, because I don't want that negativity. So I've learned to make sure that if I'm going to have anyone or any type of influence, because everybody and everything is an influence, it has to benefit me in a positive way. If not, you gotta go. And I land.
On. MJ, what you got for me?
Oh wow. I feel like my response is so trivial compared to the ladies before me. My heart goes out to you all, first and foremost. But me personally, I feel like there have been certain jobs and certain relationships that have affected my mental health. I've always considered myself to be a strong person until I actually got into these situations where I could tell that I was not functioning the way that I should be functioning as a healthy adult. To the point where certain situations would affect my self esteem, it would affect how I communicated with others, and it would also affect my relationship with my close and immediate family. Like I would lash out on my kids or somebody close to me, even though they had done nothing to me. And that was kind of the trigger that made me realize your mental health is being affected and you need to fix it. Um, but as I learned more about mental health, I know that there in these situations that you don't have to sit there and just accept this response. Like you can do things to help you maneuver through it. Take yourself out of the situation if you can, especially when it was related to my job. I worked at a job for over 12 years where my mental health was affected. And when I finally got the courage to leave, I realized that I didn't have to stay in that environment as long as I did. And now that I'm more educated on mental health, it is um, making me prepare my kids a little bit better for it now, because I don't want them to have to maneuver through things that are affecting their mental health and without the knowledge of knowing how to fix it or how to move themselves out of that situation. So while I have had my mental health affected, it is preparing me better to prepare my kids in the future, so that maybe when they get to a situation where they are affected, where it is affecting their mental health, that they will know how to maneuver through it a little bit better.
Okay, that's what's up. Coco, what you got?
Hey y'all. So an experience that a personal experience that impacted my mental health. I would say probably actually being left with a child to like raise on my own. And then having to work and all of the stuff I was dealing with. It was definitely something that I never went through before. And my baby was young. He was about 6 months. And I was working with Comcast. And I knew it had impacted my mental health because it was just like I was drinking like pints of Hennessy every single day. Like just smoking and drinking all day, every day. But I was functioning. I wasn't like, laying around and, not doing what I'm supposed to do. I became a functioning alcoholic, I would say. And, it helped me get through. I became homeless and stuff because I did end up moving with the person that I had the child with. So I ended up becoming homeless because they didn't want to pay bills and stuff like that. So I was homeless for like 2 months with my kid. I wasn't like, out on the streets or anything, but I was in and out of Airbnbs. I had to take them to work with me. So I was doing like Instacart and stuff like that because I didn't have anyone to watch them for me. So, I was just paying for Airbnbs, and it just started getting harder and harder and harder. But I cope with it because I just learned that, despite whatever happened, like it happened. It happened for me. And I might be going through something hard, but this is what I'm going through and this is what I got to get through. So I had to learn to live in the present and in the present moment. And so that helped me get through a lot. So it's like I was happy because I don't feel like my baby noticed, he might have noticed like a slight change, but I don't think that he really noticed like really what was going on. But I just think that it made me stronger along the journey. It gave me patience. It helped me endure, through a lot more other things. And, that's just what that is. How was your understanding of mental health evolved? And basically, my understanding of mental health has evolved because I just think that we all should take it a little bit more seriously. I'm normally the type, I don't really open up to people. I have my select few of people that I open up to, but sometimes you have to learn to be a little bit vulnerable too, because you never know what a person may have to say to you that this might change your mind or change your perspective, for that day or in time or whatever the case may be. But I'm just learning to take it more seriously. I'm learning to check on other people and stuff like that, because it's not just about us. We all trying to make it, and we all trying to get through. We all fighting a battle, and we all just trying to, get through it.
Okay. All right, Miss Priss, welcome to the panel. You know what I'm saying? Welcome.
Thank you.
So, what do you have for us on the topic?
Sure. I want to start real fast by letting you guys know there's several of you that are just literally speaking like right to my heart right now, guys, and I really appreciate you guys for being strong and sharing, because it's good to know that I'm not alone. All right, listen, I'm gonna get through this. So, my personal experience that has significantly impacted my mental health is, my entire upbringing. My mother specifically. So my mother is, or she was, I don't know what more words I can say, but she was a drug addict. The CRACK got her pretty good. So she was basically in jail for the majority of my childhood, but she did have me until I was 9. So basically what that looked like for me was growing up knowing that I was just poor white trash, trailer park trash. That's what I was. A lot of severe like bullying in school, because everyone else knew around me. Obviously, I was kind of young at the time, so I didn't really know like what was going on with my mom. I knew like she would like disappear for a while, but I didn't really know like what was going on. I was very young, until eventually, at one point I was living with my mom and my stepdad, my little brother, my stepdad's mom and dad, his little brother, and his little sister in a 3-bedroom house. ceiling were like falling down. It's like holes in the ceiling. My stepdad's brother took advantage of the situation that I had to share a room with him and my little brother. So like food would be like withheld if I didn't do like things like that. Anyways, my grandma, my mom's mom, eventually got custody of me and my little brother when I was 8, and I was there with her for about a year until my step grandfather FA'd my 3-year-old cousin. My dad found out, and my dad, which I had really only seen about 3 times that I could remember in my life, just kind of came and stripped me away, and he took me away from my little brother because we had different dads. Thought that was going to be like a better scenario, getting out of all that mess. But his mom was very physically and emotionally abusive towards me as well. Like her favorite saying to tell, mind you, I was 9 years old. Her favorite saying for me was, I was sorrier than well shit on the bottom of the ocean. Don't even know where the hell that came from, but great. You know, got to give it to her for her creativity. She used to tell me like, oh, like you're just like your mom, which is obviously not a great thing to hear, you know, because my mom was, you know, crackhead in jail. So it really, the way it affected me was, I literally, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm literally tried like my entire life. I've spent my entire life working my ass off, and like literally to the point of now like fucking like craziness, just proving that I'm not white trash, because I'm not, you know, like I feel like I've just spent my whole life now just trying to prove that that is not me, and I've done damn well for myself, and I'm very proud of myself and where I am now and everything that I've accomplished. The whole essay thing with my uncle really affected like my relationships with obviously intimately. It takes a while for me to warm up because, you know, someone like touches me like, oh God. Sorry, hold on one second. For a while, like it just like I cringe, right? Like it feels like violated, even though it's not in that moment. Anyways, I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, and I think what's happened to me, as you can see today, obviously, is that I haven't dealt with it at all. I haven't managed it at all. I took it all and I balled it up in a little ball and I shoved it way down deep in my gut, and I fucking did my shit, and I just ignored it. And God, it's coming out. Now that I'm getting a little bit older, a lot of things that some of you guys were saying rings like really true to me. Like the whole functioning alcoholic thing.
I mean, maybe take a pause for a second. You know what I'm saying?
So proud of you though. So proud of you for sharing your story, and you know, you are a beautiful person. Don't listen to the words of ugly people.
Yeah, we'll just go to the next topic.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, absolutely.